All right. First starting out, you should know that you don't have to have any bit of status, any reputation, really any education to become a millionaire. Uh, you just need time. And this could take as quick as 2 days. This could take as long as 10 years, depending on how long you want it to take. I mean, you see on the internet people, becoming so well known that they're just flooded with money because they're a pop icon on the internet. And it happens within days. It doesn't matter how broke you are or how many kids you have, where you live, any of that. You really just need a brain and to be smarter than the average dog. If you think about a dog, we give them food and they rely on us to just eat the food and, act the way we want unless you don't have any control over your dog. And that's kind of how we are as consumers. We just kind of, take what we get. And to become a millionaire, you need to take on the role of being a creator rather than just a consumer, because you do have the power to move mountains. And of course, with some construction equipment, of course, you have that power. So let's get into it. Why watch me? I have no status to you whatsoever right now. No reputation, unless somehow you're watching this years from now when I had made the video and there's a lot of views and you've already seen my later work and you're coming back just to watch the beginning of it all the way through. But for you who are watching now, which there's not going to be a lot, and I know this. This YouTube channel also is going to be an example for a few things that I'm going to talk about in this channel. But again, I have no reputation to you. It's like whenever you buy something off of eBay, you wouldn't buy something from a seller who didn't have, a good amount of stars. They've sold a bunch of stuff. It takes status for people to actually come across your things, and this is very important for whenever you're wanting to make money off of things that you like doing. I also haven't proven myself to become an influence to you yet, which with money also comes influence, and we'll go over that later. Here's a lot we'll be going over. It might not make a lot of sense to you now, but after watching a good amount of my videos in the future, you'll come back and watch them through again and see them from a whole new perspective. And we'll explain why the perspective is the biggest thing that will play into your wealth, whether it be financial wealth, your health, well-being, all of that. And we're going to go all over that. And if you choose to listen, we're going to go all over that to where the point that you understand it, to where you see the results change in that sense. We're going to be working on changing ourselves for the better and becoming who we truly are and the best at what we can be. Basically becoming the masters of ourselves as the best way to get you anywhere you want in life, because if the car you are driving doesn't have the parts or can't get you to where you want to go, it's not going to get you to where you want to go, and it's as simple as that. Now, the things we're going to be going over, I can list some out for you just off the top of my head. I think I mentioned a little bit about mindset. That's one of the biggest things that's going to play in this. The subconscious mind and the paradigm. A lot of this stuff you're going to already have heard if you've already listened to How to Get Rich Gurus or anything like that. The main beginning of this channel is going to go over a lot of that basic stuff already. We're just going to give it to you in a new perspective, because sometimes things resonate with different people in different ways. Like if you like a certain speaker or a certain group that does any type of art or music, or whether it be whatever you want, that might resonate with you differently than it does your friend whenever you go to try to show them, hey, check this out, and they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. So if you've already heard all that stuff, give it another shot. I mean, I might give it to you in a way that makes sense to you and you see the results, because once you get this knowledge in a way that it actually makes sense to you, that's when the change happens. Now, all these other people, and including me, can tell you that you can get rich and you can be like, yeah, move on to the next one. I don't care whether you watch my videos or not. I want you to prosper and all of my viewers to prosper, whether you get that from me or any other YouTube channel or any mentors. And we're going to go over mentors and how you should surround yourself with mentors that only lift you up rather than surrounding yourself with people that pull you down. But back to the things that we're going to be going over this channel is a lot of self-awareness, learning your purpose and how it can be the easiest way to make you money. If you know anything about abundance, self-respect, and self-love, because you can't love others if you don't love yourself, and I mean that's just simple common knowledge, and that actually plays into abundance and giving to others. I'm going to teach you how to lesser your outcome and then maximize your income. I don't want to say maximize because that leaves the point where there's a limit, because there really is no limit. That's one of the big secrets. There is no limit. And we're going to go on about, like I said, the subconscious mind and a lot of things that have limited us without us even knowing in the first place. I'm going to teach you how giving up always works against you. I mean, it always will work against you, because if you give up, you stop. I mean, you stop giving plants water, they're gonna die. It's as simple as that. You got to keep watering it. And that's another thing with this YouTube channel. I don't care about any money coming through YouTube. Any of these other, get-rich gurus are not making their main money through YouTube. And you're going to learn to become a millionaire, you're going to have more than one income, more than one source of income. Right now, I am currently making, I've got 3 basic incomes. There's 2 that are a little spotty. I wouldn't say that they are definite, but they are definitely sources of income. We're going to go over reality and how it's actually a reflection of you and what's going on inside of you. And that actually plays a lot into your health. And we'll go over that a lot later after we go over the, basic knowledge. And then we'll get way deeper into it and, some things you may not have heard of. We're going to go over expressive outlets. Again, this YouTube channel, in a sense, is my expressive outlet, because you're going to start to learn how this is all just an input and an output system. And what goes in does have to come out. Now, I know a lot of this knowledge because of my research. And it's not just get-rich gurus, and it's not just self-help. There's so many other things that you can take from this. And that will be the deeper stuff that we go in a lot later, whenever I start racking up, a good amount of viewers who might actually be interested in what I have to say about it. I'm going to teach you how to turn things that will waste your time that you like doing, not necessarily wasting your time, but things that waste your time. We're going to learn how to turn those into things that will end up making you millions. Like, it's usually just something that you really like to do that's not really doing anything good for you. Like, if you like to play video games. Now, if you do competitions and you make money, that's great. It's great that you make money. But you should strive to want more money for what you're doing. And we're going to go over how to turn these little things into things that can make us millions, especially when you're sleeping. Because a lot of millionaires make most of their money while they're sleeping, not while they're working. And it's as simple as that. And we're going to go over visualization and how it's going to play a role into bringing you whatever type of wealth you want, whether it be health, financial, because there's all kinds of different types of wealth. I mean, depending on what you like doing, if you're wealthy in something, you come into abundance with it. We're going to go over feeling fancier and why feeling actually plays a big role in mindset and has to do with visualization. It also correlates to our will and can manifest our desires and bringing change into our life. Again, about bringing change into our life will eventually bring change into the external. Because that's really what you want in the end, right? Is to change your circumstances, whether it be where you live, how much money you have, what nice things you have, the clothes, friends around you. If you want more friends, you You can do this to get anything. This channel is to empower you and to show you that you do have power. You can change the things around you. And I learned this at a very young age. And that's why I'm here to help teach you, because when you come into this abundance, you just want to help other people. You want to pull them up to that level at which you're at. And I want to help all of you. Now, we're going to change the subject. You will become a millionaire if you will. If you will not to, then you will not become one. Every millionaire before they were a millionaire wasn't a millionaire. You got to think about that. There's a switch to be had. And now we're going to talk about Jim Carrey. Other than the fact that he is one of the most well-known comedians, he was always a comedian since a very young age, in fact. He had a purpose, and I said that earlier, and he used this purpose one day to bring him millions. It's not just a dream. You can really do this stuff. It doesn't take a privileged person to become a millionaire. Jim Carrey, when he was young, his father actually lost his job, and the family had to live in this camper on, I think it was one of his relatives' lawn. I'm not sure. And they all had to work jobs to support each other, including Carrey, which he would actually work, I think, about an 8-hour shift or a 5-hour. It was just like, it was a shift right after school at a very young age. And I mean, how many of us can relate to that at a young age, going to high school and then getting out and going to your job? I mean, even middle school. I had friends that had jobs back in middle schools. They had I forget what license it is. It's like that doesn't matter really right now. Jim Carrey started his career at the age of 15. So this kid had started a career before years before he was even legally able to purchase cigarettes, at least in our time. I don't know if he was able to purchase cigarettes in his time. His father would actually drive him down to a club to do some stand-up, which at the time he really wasn't good at being an entertainer. He wanted to give up, but he didn't. He persevered and he kept going, and look at where he's at now. A year later, he ended up dropping out of high school to, I'm pretty sure, just focus on his career. I mean, that's usually what these guys do. At the age of 19, he went to Hollywood to, hit it big, and he ended up just failing once again. But obviously, he didn't give up there, because we can see from all of his successes. But at the time, he gave up. And he took his broke self in his old beat-up Toyota up to the Hollywood Hills, and he looked out to the city, and he started dreaming of success. He started visualizing it. And this is very important, and you hear a lot of these stories. They visualized it. And then what he did next was even greater, to make himself feel better, to make himself feel where he wanted to be. Notice that feeling. That feeling is very important. He wrote himself a check for $10 million, and he wrote it out for acting services rendered. And he kept it in his wallet, and it stayed there for a while, but he eventually made it. He didn't cash it, but just from Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber, etc., he made more than $10 million, and we all know it. But in 1994, his father passed away, and that's where Jim Carrey had slipped the check into his father's casket to be buried with his father. Jim Carrey, on the Oprah show, says when he was broke, he would actually visualize. There's that visualization word again. He'd want to visualize the things that he wanted to come, the things he wanted to attract, the things that have yet to come. He would visualize the directors liking his act, and eventually it came. And that is very important in this, and I'll leave the link to that interview with Jim Carrey and Oprah in the description. I have a very special visualization technique that honestly can attract whatever you want, and I've been doing it before I got into this. And the thing that helped me a lot with this was when I came into all this knowledge, I was already doing the work. I was already doing the things that I'm telling you now. And I didn't know why I did them at the time, but I just did them. And, I've got everything that I've wanted from it so far. Now, I encourage you all to research and find mentors, teachers, like I said before, who can all bring you to where you want to be. You want to surround yourself with that. You may not resonate with the things that I say or the way that I explain things, but I still want you to prosper, like I said in the beginning of this video. If you even have to, create a new YouTube channel just so that your mind just sees what you're wanting, and just follow teachers and mentors that'll help you to where you want to be. If you want to be a good singer, make a new YouTube channel and follow a bunch of teachers that teach you how to sing, teach you about music. Create an environment where that's all you see, because once you see and feel and visualize that, it will come about. Now, that's not the only way of doing it, and that's not going to be 100% foolproof, but having all of that on your phone, because remember, your subconscious mind is very important, and what you put into it slips through. Now, this isn't just a get-rich channel, it's a self-improvement channel, because that's really what it's all about, because you're not going to come into any bit of wealth until you improve yourself, because there's always room for improving. And same for myself. I'm constantly trying to improve myself. I'm probably going to have videos in the future where I come back and correct the things that I'm saying in this video from a new perspective. And that's the thing. You want to keep gaining new perspectives, because once you gain new perspectives, you see things in more than just one way. It's like if someone's standing on the front end of a car, not on it, but in front of it, and they write down the complete description of what they see, it's going to be completely different than some guy who's standing behind the car. The guy behind the car looks at it, and it looks very square-like almost, because the trunk, and he sees a license plate. And there's two circular lights on the back, and there's a pipe sticking out of the back. And the guy that was standing in front of it, he sees, a hood, he sees a big window, just like the guy in the back, but it's bigger. And you see people in the world arguing 2 points or 2 perspectives like they've gone and lost their dang mind. And it's just the fact that you need to see it from a new perspective is all. It's all the same idea. This channel's also about lifting your spirit, because that can do so much for you. Just complete positivity in your life is really what you want. A lot of people are addicted to being sad. I remember being at that point where I just wanted to be sad, because if you're already at the bottom, who can pull you down? If you're already at the bottom of the ocean, how much more can you drown? And while that's comforting in a way, it's not good. It's not good, and you know it, and you know who you are, and you know if you think that way. I used to be like that, and I will go over videos on how to overcome this. I'm going to dedicate my whole YouTube channel to helping you with the things that helped me, and that helped my mentors that I learned from, and that helped my friends who I've also learned from, because everybody and everything in your life is a lesson to be learned, whether you like it or not. If there's people that you don't like, they are trying to teach you a lesson. Maybe not they are, but life is trying to teach you a lesson through them. And you can get those people out of your life, but if you ever notice, the same lesson just comes back around until you get it. How many times has this happened in your life? And the thing about lifting spirit is when you're in abundance, it feels so great. So great that you just want to help other people. It's not that you help other people and then you feel great. It's reversed. You feel so great that you want to help other people. All you want to do is give. You see with a whole new set of eyes. Like, back when I was just, mostly everything in my mind was negative. The other day I was in a Target, and this girl was, she was just acting kind of stupid, just goofy, just something that if you were in a negative mood, you'd just be like, roll your eyes or be like, shut up. Because when you're in a negative mood, everything around you is negative, and when someone happy comes along, you get a little pissy about it. It's because, that's the reflection right there that I was talking about earlier. Now, this girl was, acting silly, and back when I used to be fully negative, I probably would have been like, oh my God, shut up, get out of here. But I'm seeing things through a new set of eyes now. I'm going to teach you how to see through these new set of eyes. And what I saw around me was beautiful. She lifted the entire mood of 10 aisles of people. I was watching people who were listening to her talk, being goofy, and they had the biggest smiles on their face. You felt the room just get lighter. Now, anybody that was having problems, for a little bit, they got a little bit of a dopamine high in their brain. We're going to go over that too. She lifted the spirits of the people around her for a moment. And that can do very great things for people. Very great things. So, now that you're interested in what I'm saying, you now know why you want to watch this video, or you maybe have an idea of what you want to figure out. I have some homework assignments for you to do if you are interested to get you started on the path to inner and outer wealth. I want you to start by writing yourself a check for $10 million. Seriously, just like Jim Carrey did. And when you cash it, I want you to send it into this channel and I'll post it. And your success story, no matter how long the success story is, I'll post it on my channel with a link to your channel or website for whatever you do. And you're thinking like, dang, this is going to be a while before we see that video, or yeah, right, But that's the perspective that's keeping you from wealth. If you listen and understand these teachings and really apply them to your life, and not just take, my lessons, but your lessons as well, because I had to learn my lessons to get here. I learn a lot from myself every day. And if you really do these things, it could be a matter of a year, like I said in the beginning of the video. Or, 2 weeks for these successes and $10 million, cash check videos to come out. People can go from the bottom to the top literally in days or even hours, and you've seen it on the internet. You've seen people get famous through the internet. The Catch Me Outside girl has got a lot of money just from publicity alone, and it happened, within months. This stuff really happens. Now, you should really get yourself a checkbook, one from the actual bank if you can, because you want it to be as legitimate as possible. You need this because it's important for the subconscious mind, especially if you get it from your bank. It just makes it more legitimate to the mind. You don't have to, but it does help. And plus, you're also going to need to get a checkbook because you need to write yourself that check for $10 million. And the next homework assignment, which will be logging down in the ledger section in the back of the checkbook, all the income you get and all the outcome you spend. Now, my checkbook has about 2 pages of ledger or, transaction register, whatever you want to call it. It's the place in the back of the checkbook where you can balance all of your, finances. Mine only comes with 2. You can go to the bank and they can actually send you ones with more of these, and they should do it for free. If they don't do it for free, you can get these pretty cheap on Amazon. You can get 10 of them for about $6. It's just called Transaction Register. Now, if you really can't do that, you can just go to the store and go get a ledger book from Walmart or something. And it's much bigger, but it's honestly going to be harder to tote around with you than a checkbook. And if you can't do that, for God's sakes, just have a journal or something, it's your wealth's going to come from, as hard as you really want to try for it. Because the reason for writing down your income and your outcome is you need to actually see the money come in and out, other than just when you're purchasing something at the moment at the store or when you get a paycheck from the job and you check it on the app. You may be wondering why, when we can just track everything on our bank apps. And we'll get into that later. It has more to do with the subconscious and, getting yourself there. Because It does something to your mind when you write it all down in front of your own eyes as the pen writes across the paper. So it shall be written, so it shall be done. There is magic in those words. And if you want to give more oomph to this, write with a blue pen. And we'll go on why that's important too, because that has to do with the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind speaks in symbolism. And colors have to do with symbolism. And now your last assignment, which is going to be the easiest, because you can do this anywhere. You can do this right now. I want you to just breathe. Just breathe rhythmically. It needs to be on count. You don't have to count out loud. You don't have to count in your head. It just needs to be on rhythm. Whether that be 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds of an inhale, and then holding it for 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling it for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then repeating. You can do it for 2 seconds, just as long as it is rhythmic. You don't have to do that all the time, but if you can get to the point where you're breathing rhythmically all the time, that is great. And especially before bed. This is going to help you relax before bed, and you honestly will get better sleep. And whenever you realize you're breathing in the day, it's really good to just start breathing rhythmically again and just get on the cycle of it. Because it really is a life changer. Just breathing rhythmically will change your life in a matter of months. Because you're going to be living for these months anyways, why not just breathe rhythmically? It's not going to cost you any money. It actually saves you a little bit of life because you have deeper breathing, and less breathing is longer life. Just breathing alone is good for calming yourself. It regulates and balances our mental state. It's a part of curing depression naturally, and we're going to go over how to cure depression naturally later on in other videos, fairly on in the early set before we get to the deeper stuff, probably in between. It also helps reduce our resting pulse rate. It improves our blood circulation. It encourages metabolism efficiency. You'll really get some good sleep doing this before bed, like I said before. It's great. It makes me feel amazing breathing rhythmically compared to how I used to breathe. It harmonizes the functions of our central nervous systems, and it enables smooth functioning of all of our bodily organs. And that's just doing great for you. I mean, why not just do that? And the big thing about becoming wealthy is that these little things, a lot of people won't even do them. They won't even do the work. They're too lazy to even breathe. And if you want to talk about organs, the biggest organ on your body is the skin. And if you feel like you can't come into wealth because, the way you look, I had someone tell me that they can't, get money because they have acne. If you want to get rid of acne, start drinking 8 glasses of water a day. Water completely flushes the skin. The skin is the biggest organ of the body. It has them all working way better, which actually I think we will get into water in the next video. But this video is getting kind of long. I will all of my viewers to prosper and have a good one. See you next time.